The Game Time Network is proudly sponsored by Matt Gaddis at State Farm. If you need help with car or renter's insurance, Matt Gaddis has you covered. And we are also powered by our friends at Wire to the Nines. For any low voltage needs, reach out to them via email at wiretothenines@yahoo.com. And don't forget about our friends over at Bigsy Sports Grill. If you're looking for a great time and some great food, head over to Bigsy Sports Grill on Brookville Road in Indianapolis. Thank you to all our sponsors for supporting the Game Time Network. Making money. Speaking of making money, let's talk about the new league that seems to be making some money. We're going to talk about the WNBA CBA negotiations. They have finally reached a deal. We talked about this after the season ended. We talked about them heading for a strike. I don't think it's going to impact the season at all, thankfully. But the key details of the new CBA: massive salary increase. The salary cap jumps from $1.5 million in 2025 to $7 million in 2026, with maximum contracts starting at $1.4 million and potentially exceeding $2.4 million by 2032. It's already expected that Aja Wilson is going to get an extension.
Hey, you better start saying her name right. Her name is Aja. Stop calling her Aja.
Oh, my bad. Aja Wilson. There you go. There you go. My bad. Aja Wilson.
You're not about to have every black woman in America hopping in the.
I know you better call her name right.
Aja Wilson. I apologize. High minimum
Aja
salary.
Wilson, Game Time Queen. We apologize for him.
That's
yeah,
right.
my apologies. My apologies. High minimum salaries. Minimum player salaries will range from $270,000 to $300,000 in 2026, skyrocketing from the 2025 minimum salary of $66,000. Revenue sharing. Players receive a 20% slice of the gross league and team revenue for the first time. Rookie jump scale. The 2026 number one overall pick is projected to earn $500,000, and an expedited pathway exists to top rookies to earn max level contracts. Keep in mind, Caitlin Clark only got like $77,000, I think. Roster and league expansion. Rosters increased to 12 players minimum, plus 2 additional development spots that do not count against the cap. The season will expand from 44 up to 52 games by 2029. Additional benefits, the deal includes improved housing, charter air travel, and increased performance bonuses. So big agreement for the WNBA. I want to start off by saying this. I am happy that this deal got done. I am happy for the players. We talked about it very early on when all this was going on. The league is starting to turn a profit, right? I think this is the first year they turned a profit this season. We want the players to get paid. I'm not disagreeing with that. I never agreed with the NBA salaries. That was just unrealistic. But I agreed that there needed to be a pay increase because Caitlin Clark shouldn't be making $77,000. That's just not the case. I mean, the league that they were doing, the unrivaled league, those players were at that time were making more money in that league than they were in the WNBA. So something had to change because that league's a 3-on-3 league, and it was selling out venues in Philadelphia. It was selling out NBA stadiums. And that's a 3v3 league, right? And that just happened a couple months ago. So this deal needed to happen. There needed to be a pay increase. You can't be the top women's basketball league and not be doing this. This will help. A lot of these players had to go overseas and make more money and do all that. That doesn't have to happen anymore. It makes the league better. Now, my co-host is going to bring up a great point. I'm not going to take the point away from him. I'm going to let him bring up the point. But now for this league, it's crunch time. It's time to make some money because somebody made a great point on Twitter. These NBA owners are eventually going to be like, look, we're tired of giving our money up to a league that's not profiting, right? So it's crunch time now. It's, Paige Buckers, Clark, Reese. Those 3 women were already being highlighted when they were overseas qualifying for, I believe, the Olympics this summer. Already, right? And you still got big names in the WNBA, but it's already those 3, and Juju's going to be eventually in the league too. So you're starting to build these players. It's time to start raking in the cash. Hopefully, Daryl's going to bring up some good points here in a second, so I'm going to go ahead and give him the floor.
First and foremost, they absolutely 100% deserve the raise with the popularity growing, right? We get that. You're talking about the Angel Reese, the Caitlin Clark, Aja Wilson, the teams, the potential expansion. With that said, I also saw a lot these last couple of weeks. Pay these ladies, pay them. When then we saw that they got paid, I saw people saying, yeah, good for them, good for them. It's not good for them. It's great for them. First of all, it's great. With that said, there's something that comes with that. In 24-25, the ticket prices for WNBA games increased 43% due to the popularity, due to the Asia Wilson, Caitlin Clark dynamic, along with Angel Reese, of course, and others, right? Increased 43%. Facts, not feelings, fact. Now, those of us who said, hey, great for them, we're cheering and we're saying anybody who has any counter argument is a hater, the ticket prices are going to increase again coming up because they're going to have to, because the league is going to say we got to keep up with our revenue piece. So those of you that are screaming, you're a hater if you have any other feeling other than it's great and it's the perfect thing. I want to see your ticket stubs. I want to see your screenshots. I want to see your selfies at the games, because it's gonna have an impact on your pocket. Look at the economic situation we're in as a nation. I love the fact that these young ladies are getting paid 100%, but there's a yin and a yang when these things happen, right? So how much love are you going to give to the WNBA now when you were giving it love, 3, 4, 5 years ago? How much love are you going to give when you see my lower bowl ticket is $185, my mid bowl ticket is $140, my upper deck ticket is $100? That's all I'm saying. There's a equal and opposite reaction to these things that happen. Yes. I want them to prosper. I want them to expand, which they did. All those things, because there's a lot of young ladies out there. My granddaughter, especially little mama number 2, Dakota, she loves hoops, and I would love to see my granddaughter, who's 7 years old this coming up week, in 14 years to be in the WNBA. I would love it, but also there's a price to pay for that, and where there's only so much you can pay out as a family. So I'm gonna be looking at attendance, looking at that type of piece to ensure that people are putting their pockets where their mouth is. It's one thing talking about it, but make sure you're still going to those games. Make sure you're supporting, because also those jerseys, they're going up as well too. So that's just the other piece of that. I'm happy for them. I'm glad for them. I hope those young ladies do great, because I've got a granddaughter coming up in about 14 years that I want to be playing in that league as well too. So that's my 2 cents there.
What's your thoughts?
I ain't got no thoughts, man. No, I'm joking. I'm just joking. Don't, ladies, don't do it. Don't hurt me.
I gotta spit out my coffee. I'm telling you now. You paying? Hey,
don't hurt me. You know what, man? I'm happy they're getting paid, man. I just want to see people support and continue. The one thing that I don't want is to see those guys or women, my bad, get this bump in salary, money start looking good, and all of a sudden the league becomes extinct or defunct or whatever word you want to use. I don't want that to happen. My job right now that pays my bills, I'm an athletic administrator at the high school level, and we're seeing an incredible decrease in women's sports across our state of Indiana. Our young ladies aren't really getting involved across the whole state in multiple different sports for whatever reason. And I hope that something like this sparks the interest again, where more young ladies are getting involved. Now, our high school state finals for women's basketball was incredible. And we got some incredible athletes at all different levels of 4A, 3A, 2A, 1A in the state of Indiana. But we are seeing our numbers decrease. And something like this can only help us at the grassroots level. But the grassroots level has to continue to increase so that WNBA can increase, or collegiate athletics can increase, and it becomes that feeder system all the way up to the top. So as long as those guys are doing their job at top, keeping those buildings filled, keeping that apparel flowing, keeping those TV deals going, keeping everything happening, it gives us a shot at the bottom to keep sending kids through that feeder system to get to the WNBA. And it gives our children, whether it's an inner city young lady or someone in a rural town, it gives them an opportunity to live that dream of being a professional athlete, or professional coach, or a professional trainer, or professional medical staff person for an athletic team. So I'm praying that we get out as a group, as individuals, and support the WNBA in the same ways that we support the NBA, the NFL, some of us support the MLB, not COT, but it's in soccer, etc.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. Really good point. I'm happy for the league. Probably watched the most of it I've had in the last 2 years. I'll continue to watch it obviously this summer, and I think it'll be good for the league. The one thing I don't like, but I understand why they have to do it. We're going from 44 games to 52. I understand why they got to do it. I wish they wouldn't. But I understand. I understand why they got to do it. So it makes sense. I'm excited, especially for the players that are going to get drafted. Right. I think that's probably the one thing I'm probably the most excited about, is because a player like Juju Watkins, right, who will be unsurably the first overall pick, not next year or not this year, but next year. She deserves to make more money than just $77,000, right? Because that's what Clark made when she got drafted. So I'm excited for the players that get to come into the league and make way more money than they did, because you come from college where you're making millions in NIL, and you come down, obviously you still got sponsor deals and all that, so it's not the end of the world, but your league should be paying you a good chunk of change as well.
I like the fact that they did an increase in games. It was only 8 games, all right? So
just so you can see it. There you go.
Okay. So increase in 8 games, which is good. It's a small increase. It's not some we're adding 20 games, because you guys see what the pulse is. Again, happy for it, all those wonderful things. But the true tell will be your ticket sales.
Yeah.
Will be your box office, right? That's going to be the true tell. We can be emotionally one way or the other on this show, but we'll find out when it happens that way, right? I think that's going to be the matter.
My counter argument's this, because they also got a new TV deal too. So my question to you, and I'll have to do some research because I didn't pull it up before we started. It's just a question I thought of now. How much do the ticket sales matter based off the TV deal? Because obviously a lot of these leagues now, it's like, the ticket sales are good, but it doesn't really matter because the TV deal is so good.
I'm not talking about the league. I'm talking about the people. I'm not.
Well, now they get a slice of the television revenue too.
Listen, the fans aren't getting a slice of that. I'm talking about the fans. I'm not talking about the TV deal. I'm talking about the fans. And what I'm saying, those fans who say, okay, honey, let's take you and the 2 kids to the game, right? Yeah. Whereas, 8 years ago, you could get in there probably under $100. How does that affect when I'm not talking about the TV deal and how it's going to affect billionaires. I don't care about them.
No,
I'm talking about Joe Blow, who works at Walmart full time, who has 2 kids with his wife. That's what I'm talking about.
And I was just talking about the overall league, because like Ramon said, I don't want this to be the point where, the league falls under or something like that. I thought we were talking about the overall of the league. That was my bad.
I'm just talking about the fans, right? Because we're the ones who get up out of our house, drive to the stadium, and buy, right? That's what I'm saying. And people got to look at the big picture. We can say, oh, I'm a hater, and I knew that was coming from the troll. But the fact of the matter is this: those people are going to have to go out of their pocket to go to the games. Yeah. You can sit there and play tag with it all day long, but that's what it is, right? As an example, do you go somewhere where you're priced out of the price point? Do you go to Ruth Chris once a week, or do you go to McDonald's once a week, or whatever the case may be, right? So I'm just saying, just look at that as a perspective. Listen, I think they're going to flourish. I absolutely think they're going to flourish, but we'll see. We right now we don't know. This is all speculation, right? Mm-hmm. My hope is that this league flourishes and they add about 6 more teams. Yeah, because that's going to grow it, right? Having young ladies that are able to go to a WNBA game in their city, right? And that's going to help. That's why my little mama's going to be there this year a lot.
They just added Golden State, and then I think they're adding one in Canada this year or next. I don't remember.
And I had one in Philadelphia in a couple years too.
But you follow what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. You want to be able to see it. The reason why I became a Pacer fan, because I was able to go to the games and see it up close, right? And I want these young ladies to be able to have the opportunity to go to the games, and it doesn't break their parent, right?
Yes.
And also have other avenues in other cities. This is a huge win.
Yes.
I mean, this isn't a loss; it's a huge win. But you got to think about the big picture and how long does your money stretch?